I think the whisper number is lower than 180, and I myself am looking for, if I thought it was going to miss, I think it would miss on the downside. And the reason why is we've had a couple of, it's not just been December with a lot of misses on things like durable goods and new home sales. Those misses have continued into January, for example, with automobile sales. And if you look at the manufacturing ISM index earlier this week, big drop in the new orders component, and that cannot really be explained by weather. I think that what we're seeing here is partly weather, but I think it's more that we were sustaining a pace of growth in the second half of last year that is not possible to be continued for another year or two. It's just not that kind of recovery. People still have it in their head that 200,000 jobs is the trend rate of this recovery. That's too high. It's lower than that.
Dennis, how are you trading this jobs number? I mean, are people crazy to bid up the market this much today, especially on some of the rumors that have been going around Wall Street?
People are crazy, Kelly, to spend any time at all with this number. I go back to 1976 with this figure. I've been commenting upon it for almost 40 years, and the only thing that you can say that makes rational sense is that if you hit the number within 50,000 plus or minus of whatever it is, you should consider that to be an absolute bullseye. Now, I think Greg has honestly, I think that's absolutely true. Now, I think Greg had a very good point that most of the data that we've seen coming in for the past several weeks has been less than we had hoped for. Steve's point about the weather being the only optimal week of the year, of the month when the data was being put together is another very good point. The fact is we're probably going to see tomorrow's number be somewhat less than we had hoped, but last month's number, don't be surprised if we revise it upward by 100,000. I think for the 2 months, I bet we average about 160 for the 2 months.
You know, Greg, what I wonder, there's some talk as well about whether the misses that we see over the winter are due to what's called the Lehman effect. In other words, the financial crisis depressing seasonal adjustments, adding into some of the difficulty in figuring out whether the economy really has weakened or the data just appears to be in a soft spot at the moment.
That's a great question. I actually asked Ted Weissman of Morgan Stanley exactly that question earlier this week. And he said, you know, I'd love to think it was that, but then he trotted out the not seasonally adjusted numbers for the ISM index. And the move you see, December to January, still looks really bad. So much as I'd like to blame, you know, the way we put the data together, I don't think that's it.